Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, I hope everyone is doing well.
We're doing great.
Yes, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and ring the meditation singing bowl so that there's some people that can come into the chat and then we can get started. Okay, so far I see here no more lies. You're gonna be late. Happy new moon. Okay, well, we're late too.
We had a little electronic crisis.
Yes, but we're good now, right?
I hope so. I'm not going to touch anything else.
Yes. Okay. So, do you want to go ahead and wait until a few more people show up, or do you want to go ahead and get started?
Oh, let's just gab along about our new Aquarius moon tonight or today. I
Okay.
think
Yeah. Go
I
for
think
it.
it was like around 1 at your time and like 4ish on the East Coast, something like that in the afternoon. And
Mm-hmm.
so Aquarius is so quirky, right? It's ruled by Uranus. So it's anything goes, anything can happen. Sudden changeability, revolution, uh, doing things unconventionally. Um, it's fixed air. So if you know anybody who's a heavy Aquarius energy, they can be really hard to get close to. They kind of run hot and cold. They can appear to be very detached, but yet they're deeply loving people. They just have a hard time letting people too close in, right? And so it's ruled by it's symbolized by the water bearer, which is sort of an irony. It's an air sign, but part of its symbol is water. So that's always to me been very apropos for Aquarius because it's one thing and another. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a little bit of everything. Hey, Chewbacca.
Yeah, she's got a
Just
hockey game
watching.
tonight.
Nice. That must
Yes.
be in the air. I was over at a person's house whose grandson was heading out to hockey earlier today.
Mm-hmm. It's the season. It's so loud I can't hear anything. Oh, oh, she must be at the hockey.
Oh, you're at the hockey now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. Well, thanks for checking in.
Yes. If it gets like too out of hand, then we can pick another moderator. But I don't think it's too crazy right now, so we're good.
um, so fixed air. It's like I know. And Aquarius rules the metaphysics. So it rules astrology and tarot and numerology and all of these wonderful ethereal tools that we love to love.
Hmm.
It rules the ankles and circulation. So, circulation, good circulation is about feeling in flow with the universe. So, circulation can make a lot of things go awry. Uh, if you have weaknesses elsewhere, you've had injury to some other part of your body. But in
Hmm.
general, the reminder notice about Aquarius is, if you feel um, puny or just under the weather, the question is, what are you going against? What is it that the universe is trying to present, and then maybe you're trying to fight it to go in another way. And that's a lot of what Aquarius teaches us. uh, it's very eccentric. um, some of our craziest artists are heavy Aquarians. It's opposite of Leo. So, like a Leo person would take on a lot of, you take on your opposite, your polar opposites. So if you know Leos, they can have uh, that quirky side of Aquarius. Um, Aquarius likes to be different, right? So they generally will not go with trends. They want to be different and expressive and very creative energy, very heady. They're very intellectual. Quantum physics is in the bucket of Aquarius. So it's really a great energy for a new moon because it gives you the opportunity to, look at your routines every day, look at the routes that you take, you know, as a routine and try to change it up and just take a different route. Quite often, the universe presents us with some of our greatest opportunities and gifts when we're willing to go out of our routine or go out of the line, so to speak. Um, and it doesn't have to be any big statement or anything, just some minor, most towns are set up in a grid with roads going both ways. So, you might turn a block earlier than you usually do to get to the same end point. Happy birthday, Kelly.
Yes, happy birthday.
Um, you don't want me to sing.
I mean, too.
Yeah. Know that I am doing it in my heart and in spirit, but you do not want to hear me sing. Um, okay, well, Shabaka, you have fun.
Okay,
Oh,
yes.
that's funny.
Doctor's note. Okay, you get a hall pass, honey.
You will, yeah, we'll be with you in spirit there at hockey. That's a tough game. I hope he keeps his teeth.
My brother used to play hockey, and I had to go take him to hockey practice, and I swear, like, his hockey bag smells like a gym locker. It smells
Ooh,
disgusting. Yeah.
ooh,
Imagine sweat and hockey
what?
gear, like, it's gross. Anyway, I know.
So, just as a reminder notice, since we have a guest with an actual birthday today, your birthday is also called your solar return. It's when the sun returns to the exact position as it was at the moment you were born. It is a time to celebrate renewal, anything from the last solar year, which would be January 21st to January 21st. You let it go. You get to start over, start with a clean slate. And that's kind of where that salutation, many happy returns derives, is the solar return. It happens once a year. It's considered a very significant time of your year. We do solar return charts when we do a progressed chart because just observations have found that what's happening in the solar return chart each year significantly affects what's going on with the progressed natal chart. So uh, I believe in celebrating your birthday the whole month long, whether you whatever sign it falls in, just make it a celebration, be good to yourself, do a fresh start. And in Aquarius, do something new, do something a different way than you've been doing it. It could be something like buying new software. Aquarius and Uranus rules the internet. It rules, the electronic highway. Uranus is all about electricity. That gives it that feeling, the on and off, the unpredictable. So very fun energy. Crystals like amethyst, garnet, turquoise, or jade, aquamarine are considered to be under the um, rulership of Aquarius. We mentioned earlier about it represents the ankles and circulation in the calf area of the body. If you have any kind of circulatory issues, Um, and this is a touchy subject for me because I don't know that I believe in all the hoo-ha about cholesterol, because our body makes cholesterol, but the economy makes a huge amount of money off of cholesterol drugs. And I would take, a parent to go check out cholesterol, and they'd give us numbers or whatever and another pill. And I'd be like, well, who makes up those numbers? Who makes up those numbers? So anyway, but for the sake of argument, if cholesterol is one of your concerns, some of the natural herbs that help with cholesterol are um, ginseng, garlic, borage, oats, cayenne. So it's, when you're talking about those kinds of, it's hot. It moves fluids through you. So yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the astrology of herbs section of our new moon. Of course, typically new moons are always considered a time to start things. With this particular lunation, we have 3 planets stationing direct that have been retrograde. It's Mars, Mercury, and Uranus. So when planets change direction like that, not really changing direction, it's just an optical illusion that we're seeing, but it does feel like vibrations are moving quicker. So the way that it came to me to explain was something along the lines of feeling like a wet wool blanket is being thrown off of our shoulders. Like there's sort of a freedom to move more freely, to um, no more lies, says she'll be in and out. She's an Aquarius, Sun and Venus. That's so well said.
Very Aquarian.
Before the internet, we used to have monthly astrology classes and meetings, excuse me. And there was this great lady. She was an Aquarian named Edna. Edna was, back in the early 90s, she was close to 60. So I don't even know if she's still with us, honestly. And, but for our group, she was on the cutting edge of what was to come with computers, computerizing things. Um, she had that Aquarian, she was heavy Aquarian. She had a stellium in Aquarian. She had a very insightful vision of the future. She loved Star Trek. She loved space travel, anything about UFOs, aliens amongst us. She was all about it. And she was older in our group, and she wore her hair long to her waist and never wore shoes. And it didn't matter what the temperature was outside. And so she was always different, and she strove to be different. And that is very Aquarian. And you love them for that because they're so unique. They're very loving people, once they trust you, they would do anything for you. It's just that initial detachment, like, they're not sure how they feel about somebody until they've been around them a little bit. And people used to, sometimes misunderstand that nature, of turning on and off, when simply it could be vibration overload, being around a large group of people, being open psychically and taking on other people's um, negative energy. Sometimes that kind of energy just needs to recluse some. So it's not personal. And that's something that's misunderstood a lot about Aquarian, is that it's not personal when they need to recluse or they need to detach. It's out of self-preservation. It's out of a need to somewhat regenerate. So really fun energy. The environment on the planet Uranus itself has been studied, and it does run from ice cold to hot hot. So it's kind of interesting how these planets take on the nature of the sign we're talking about. In a lot of bodies of astrology, Saturn is a co-ruler for Aquarius. So with the Mercury, Mars, and Uranus all stationing direct within the week of this new moon, you can expect to see, new inventions. You can expect to see chaos in the internet. I just thought about this, but that whole sort of blackout I had before we came live was very Aquarian. That's a very, for something sudden to happen with your electronics is very Aquarian. And so the ancient people would teach that you um, use the energies amongst you to help your life path, and try not to force against a flow of energy that's not natural. So this energy is all about trying something new. It's a new moon. Major planets have stationed to go direct. We'll have everything direct for about 3 months. So there should be a lot of catching up feeling. You're going to say something? It looked
Who,
like you were
me?
going to say something.
Oh no, I was scratching my nose, but I had a little itch.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, I thought I was getting ready to interrupt you.
No,
Uh,
you're fine. No, but yeah, no, I can relate to the 3-month thing. I just had my solar return, and
yes,
I've been meaning to write a list, like do an Excel sheet, and
yes.
really start organizing like my books, okay, for one, and then just really organizing my daily schedule, like, kind of like a planner, but I'm really my planner is just a scrapbook. Like, I can't like sit and write on a planner, a real planner. It has to be a blank sheet of paper where I can scribble all over it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the method to my madness is, but yeah, so I feel the need to organize my time for the next couple of months.
I was just going to look here when you were saying you don't know what that is. Your Mercury is in Capricorn.
Mhm.
So that is very, methodical and getting things down. It doesn't necessarily mean it's within a few degrees of your Mars, which has little patience for doing, it's like what you described, like it's more artistic, right? It's more
Right, like
organic.
I can let's see here, where is it?
You made your journals.
Well, I mean, I have many books. Like, this is what it looks like. Like, I just do like
Yeah,
scrap stuff. I just jot stuff down, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. I
that's
just
it.
look at like, what was that about? And then I have to think about it because I put like a date on it.
Yeah.
And then I have to go back and look at it, but then I do it on a daily basis. And so I will rewrite the things I did not accomplish the day before and push it to the next day.
Well,
It's
that's very, you're a teacher and a healer. So I think that's a very natural way to capture those inspirations that you get that ultimately you'll pass on to your clients and your friends and family,
mhm.
because you're a lot of Saturn in your chart. So, that's very wise, very uh, here to teach others. And it can also be rough sometimes, being that wise, responsible person.
Mhm. I know. I know.
We also have Jupiter in Aries right now, which is another fun, exuberant kind of energy, and it's making a positive aspect. It's called a sextile to the new moon. That's 60 degrees. So, if you're into the lottery, this would be a really great time to take your chances with winning the lottery. Jupiter brings you lucky opportunities. And
Can I break real quick?
sure,
Um, when you do like a natal chart, does the stars give you numbers to kind of look at, like lucky
sure,
numbers?
sure.
Can you send that to me? Not now, but
Your
later.
chart, you mean? Your chart's full of 11s.
Is it?
It is. We went over that when we very first met. A lot of twin flame people that I meet have a lot of 11-degree planets, which I
Mm-hmm.
find fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, we were talking about, and I always feel like I have to preface some of what I say with an apology because, I'm here to try to be a resource to help people want to learn about astrology, or I may not be the best communicator at communicating what I've learned, but if people ask me questions, I'm better at answering questions. So just left to my druthers, I may gab on and it may connect, it may not. I just say
So
what
if you guys
comes.
have questions, make sure you make a comment in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. So, because you can take it a lot of different avenues, and there's many different interpretations. There are different systems of astrology which calculate placements differently. So, it's more organic than that. It's more intuitive. It's just like tarot cards or runes or all these different kinds of tools that prompt our psychic ability. Okay. So, whatever symbol you need, whatever energy or color that prompts you to have an intuitive insight, that is what we're all here joined by with something in common. But, you know, uh, I never want to trigger somebody by what I might say, but um,
Disclaimer.
yeah, disclaimer. Yeah, um, please forgive me ahead of time, but you and I were talking about the twin flame journey and what maybe it starts out to be when it's an initiation of some sort, and then the different parts of the path that you journey on it. So it's impossible to have one program that touches every single person on every single part of the path. And I think what you and I have done, I think it's been probably close to 2 years now that we've done this monthly lunation astrology talk. And we've both been going through our twin flame journey in different ways. And, you know, it may not always be what someone would want us to say, meaning, you've met somebody that knocks your socks off and uh, you want to live happily ever after in a little pink cottage with a picket fence. And so that's not it. As fantastical as, and maybe it is for somebody else's reality, but I do believe that, you know,
Well, it takes work.
yeah, the
You have to
spiritual,
work for it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not something that lands in your lap and you're hoping for the best and it's just easy because there's nothing easy about a twin flame connection or even a relationship, so to speak. It's more of a challenge, the twin flame challenge. Yeah.
do you ever think of it as maybe a burning off of karma? Like maybe you came into this incarnation, and I see, Carmen, thank you for your comment that you like to learn more about astrology. It is our plan to put together some more kind of class style uh, opportunities. But, in astrology, the basic premise before you ever start to understand the planets, the houses, or the signs or aspects is that when you're in soul form on the other planes and working with your spirit guides, you manifest a chart that you want to come at a certain time, born to certain people, to live a certain life path. Doesn't mean that life path won't have diversions or options. There is free will, which can take us a lot of different ways that may or may not be written in the stars. And that we reincarnate many times, and that part of the chart can give us information about our past lives. So that's the very basic premise right there, is that we choose when we're born. And when we have really crappy parents or really crappy life, it's really hard to take ownership of, well, I wanted to come here and be here at this time. You know, you can look at it a couple of different ways. Knowing that also kind of takes the pressure off, that, hey, this is not all that what it is. We've lived 10,000 lifetimes. That person that you may have bumped up against in this lifetime, you know, was something more significant in another lifetime. And appreciating every single thing that you experience in the human body, because when you're in spirit, you are in you're in constant flow, right? There is no love, hate, sadness, happiness, joy, ecstasy. I mean, you're just energy. So coming into the human body with the heart and the brain gives you, and the nervous system, the circulation, gives you all these sensations, right? And something that I touched on last time that's going to become more and more prevalent as we move into our age of Aquarius is we are light, electricity, and water. That is what we are. And if you have a really brainy scientific mind that wants to go into the lab and experiment with just what light and electricity and water will do, you know, that's a really good way to describe our experience here on Earth. And if we keep reminding ourselves that we are not just this sort of, you know, meat suit to be, you know, a whipping post or pushed around or let down or whatever, that isn't the gig here. And I think we all have to go through a certain amount of tears and disappointment and journey to get to that acceptance of, you know, I'm here for a reason. We don't always know why, but astrology does give us sort of a language of symbols that help us sort of navigate the different aspects, not only that are coming in your natal chart, but also the transits in heaven with eclipses and new moons and full moons. So it's fascinating. Uranus and new moon in Aquarius gives people this optimism. Jupiter in Aries is very optimistic. So I think we've all kind of been through, you know, a few years of real like emptying out on some kind of soul level. You know, we're fresh start, new moon, new possibilities, new opportunities, and to embrace every little thing of that. And if you bounce off something that you thought you wanted and you're being sent into another direction, try to embrace that. Try not to hold on to control of, but I want it this way and I want it like that. And because I think that's where we create a lot of suffering. I think that's what the Buddhists would tell you. You know more about that than I do, but just basically we cause our own suffering. And it has a place in our life too for a short time. We just don't want to stay in a dark place for too long at a time. I think it's natural to ebb and flow with your ups and downs, and life comes in cycles, and there's good times and there's challenging times. And we are at the precipice of some really magnificent social changes, environmental improvement. I mean, we're all been living decades, I think, to get to this point of humanitarianism, where we're more conscientious of each other as opposed to self-absorbed. You know, that's what panic and fear will do for people is they'll make you reach out to help each other. And that's what Aquarius is. Aquarius is the humanitarian. So it's a very, um, the moon will be, after this new moon, after a few days, it's going to be moving into a conjunction with Saturn and Venus. Very, grown up. That's some grown up stuff. Saturn and Venus, that's not little playing games in high school and playing people against each other and that kind of energy. Saturn Venus is, this is about grown up love. This is about, getting real with, how has your childhood affected your adult relationships, and whatever you need to purge or figure out about that. Um, Hopefully you do it easier than hard, but, uh, and I mean, like, when I say hard, not like just putting your head in the sand and drinking it away or anesthetizing yourself with some kind of artificial drug. Um, it's sad how society has handled challenges with just anesthetizing, right? And Aquarius really wants you to find the truth, and sometimes that's why metaphysical tools help us with the truth, right? Our cards and our uh, inclinations that are triggered from these different uh, insights, different intuitions. So it really is a time about trusting your own instincts. And Venus Saturn is about healthy boundaries. So interesting and mix of energies. A lot of
So it sounds like, how do I put this? Like relationships are becoming more mature as all these planets are going direct. There's more energies of being accountable and present for whatever that is and whatever situation that
yeah,
they're in, and not really trying to get, like, let's say, the hall pass,
yeah.
but really showing up. uh, that's what it feels like, more mature, grown up, like you say, more responsible. Those are the feelings that I'm getting from that.
And so when we break down the word responsible, what it is, the ability to respond. So doesn't
Mhm,
that take a lot of the sting out of it? It doesn't feel so heavy that way. You're just
mm,
being asked to, what's your ability to respond? If you need to recluse for a few days and go sit by a stream or on a mountaintop to sort out your feelings, or just be, I think that's one of the biggest lessons Saturn teaches, is to be still. We don't have to constantly be affecting the vibes around us. Sometimes I think we're just supposed to be still and allow energy, something that might seem really, a difficult or challenging twist in your life path, just be still, and it could even dissipate all by itself without you doing anything. Um, so, the interesting thing about these planets is, I don't know that, we've even begun to really know everything there is to know about them. I mean, it's somewhat of a based on ancient language from uh, philosophers that did not have big equipment. A lot of it was intuitive. A lot of it was what came to them through vision. Nostradamus would look into, the smoke or the bowl of water and be inspired by visions. So, um, that's another part of Aquarius, is it brings the technology to the study of space, outer space, space travel. Um, I was talking to some very conservative people yesterday about space travel. I don't know where that came from, but it was just like, it just seems so obvious that someone had traveled in a different time, from point A to point B because he had changed so much. And so, I think we'll be hearing a lot more about the declassification of, you know, uh, UFOs and how there's a lot more out there than we know, and we're going to be enlightened by it.
Well,
So
I've noticed that like there's leaks of these big people who have been having a stronghold over information that's being dispersed through the collective, and it's finally coming out slowly, you know what I mean? Um, I just
and
find it very interesting how they're owning up to it, but
yeah, it is interesting, and there's some science to it. In ancient times, astronomy and astrology were not separated.
mhm,
Okay. And so it was through social structure, Saturn,
mhm,
that started to piece apart and categorize people's beliefs. And you were put under that category if you believe that, and so forth. We were more uh, compartmentalized over the ages. And so Aquarius is more about, you know, kind of like that Woodstock energy. We're all together to love one another and dance in the rain and the mud, and if somebody needs water or a ride or whatever, it's like it's more about people helping people. One of the things that I heard on just sort of generic radio news was, bringing up how um, it was on one of those shows where people pawn stuff, and it was an old engine that was based on kinetic energy to create electricity. It could run on alcohol, it could run on gas, it could run, on different fluids. And this was technology that we had 200 years ago. But, you know, social structures and greed really for money took that control like you're talking about, and everything has to go in cycles. So if someone has built up their power and control on false premises, it is only the nature of energy for that to crumble and rebirth or reinvent. That's what Aquarius does, is it reinvents the way things get done. So I thought that was very interesting because, we here on this channel have talked about Tesla and Tesla energy. And here, on a regular TV show, it comes up about, well, no, we've had this capability to make electricity without it costing anything for a long, long time. This is not new. This is just, it's been somewhat covert.
obviously with people with money.
Yeah. Yeah. The control for the almighty dollar.
Mhm,
Um, so I like Aquarius energy a lot for that reason, that it sort of blows convention into another stratosphere, right? It makes people that maybe never considered alien races among us, that maybe they haven't experienced, where they can't question, they can't question that there are other species, and that this little planet here is not all that there is in the whole wide big universe of things.
mhm.
I'm really sure, and I just know time travel is going to be more and more under focus. The ability to travel using the power of our mind, the ability to communicate to people over miles with the power of the mind. And that's all part of the new age, the age of Aquarius, and doing things differently and doing things in freedom, right? So,
Well, I think that the whole telepathic communication is really done with very simplistic means.
yeah,
Obviously it's through meditation, but with the meditation, it's also about eating the right foods, not
right.
really exposing yourself to synthetic, meals, or manipulated, to the point where it has no nutritional value, and eating more raw, or just, like,
Yeah.
less processed is what I'm
Yeah.
getting. And just do mindful meditation can actually just go a long way. And
Yeah. And,
yeah, so.
that's what I think's exciting about what Aquarius does is it puts in the mainstream metaphysical tools.
Mhm.
In the medical community, you're seeing more. One of the things I've noticed through insurance industry is insurance companies have started to pay for acupuncture. They don't call it acupuncture. That makes them too uncomfortable. They call it needling, you know,
Oh, really?
or yeah, or the psychic surgery. Have you ever been around like I know a Buddhist monk traveled through here years ago that used to do cupping and psychic surgery. And so uh, cupping has made its way into mainstream medical practices. That's about drawing out toxins. Um, so it's really, like you said, just drip, drip, drip. But it's exciting for, when you're into more holistic things or you're into the metaphysics, it's exciting to see, you know, maybe people not thinking you're crazy after all, right? That
Mm.
maybe some of the eccentric ideas, which is Aquarius, could have a grain of truth. And, there will be people that will never, ever, ever, ever believe in the power of the mind or the power of the ability of the mind to heal. And that's okay. But I think the tides are changing a little bit where more people are believing more in their themselves and their ability to know what they need and what will heal them. You see people uh, leaving jobs and relationships because, maybe, they get away for a short break or something and realize how different they feel. And then when they go back into a certain environment that, that really uh, uncomfortable, intolerable kinds of feeling comes back and they start connecting. It's the job, it's the people, or, friends, or just people that are not lifting you up to be the best you can be. And that's really all about the new age, is helping people meet their potential and break the ties that bind, break generational karmic patterns, right? Um, Women have had karmic patterns for centuries, or thousands of years, actually, of, the submissive to the male. And uh, not, I was having a conversation earlier about, uh, it was an antique picture, and um, the story behind it goes back to a granddaughter who owned real estate property in the 1800s, which back then was unheard of for a woman to own real estate. So all of those sort of age old things have been shifting, especially for about 20-25 years. We have scientifically measured a slow shifting of the Earth's axis and the polarities of energy from masculine to feminine. Well, when something's shifting really, really, really microscopically different, how does that make, the whole thing about charts and planets and astrology is we're reading a language that describes how the vibration of, let's say, Uranus, for instance, making a conjunction to our moon, for instance, would affect our life right here, right now. Uranus conjunct the moon could make someone have a nervous breakdown. It could make somebody file a patent for their new invention, because Uranus is all about invention. So you're going to start seeing more about these med beds and medical technologies that heal people without the cutting and the intrusive kinds of aggressive Mars surgeon types of treatments,
Did
right?
you
So
see, like, there's, like, these energy centers that has, like, this TV, and it uses, like, color, and it just it goes up on the screen, and it's like a healing thing. I don't know if it's because of the color that you're seeing on the screens in conjunction with maybe sounds in the room, but
yes,
there is, like, these,
yes,
energy centers where it actually can heal you from, and I feel like it's about, like, the nervous system, you
right.
know,
I was just
and
going to say that. Yeah.
yeah, so it kinda, like, stabilizes the nervous system so that it kind of, realigns the
Yes.
body.
Yes. Isn't
So
that exciting?
yeah, so, I've been looking into that. I actually messaged, the one that's close by. They didn't even message me back, but apparently it's like very select people have access to these energy
Well,
centers.
don't give up.
Okay, well, yeah,
Maybe
because
that
I
just
was
wasn't the right one.
yeah, I mean, really more so like I wanted my son to try it,
Right.
because it seems like a natural thing. It's non-intrusive,
Right.
I'm very curious to see like what it would do for an autistic child, or someone with autism. So,
I think
yeah.
so. It is about balancing the electricity, right?
Mhm.
So, Stay Tiger says, are sensory deprivation tanks useful for these types of energy shifts? I think that's a fascinating idea. And the only thing I can say is it prompts me to remember that movie called Altered States. It was a psychological thriller movie back, what was the like the late 70s, early 80s with William Hurt. He was a scientist who experimented with the deprivation tanks. And it was like a group of young college students and young professors. They would get in this tank. And it was all hooked up. I don't remember this exactly, but uh, it was a wild movie. It was
Mhm.
a psychological thriller. And at one point, he came out having regressed back to an ape. Okay,
Sorry.
I know, I know. I was afraid to go there, but that is what the movie
Okay.
does. Um, anyway, around town, for a few years, there's been these flotation tanks, which come
Mhm.
out of professional sports like NFL. And, if you have broken and bruised bones, you get in these flotation tanks of salt and you float, and you can close it up to be enclosed or you can leave it open depending on whatever you want. But same sort of concept, that salt, in connection with um, your chemistry, right, your electricity and your body, can heal. And it's really weird. It's like 1,500 pounds of salt in this tank. They never change it. It's like it's sterile, right? They don't have to change it from person to person. It's basically self-sterilizing, they say. At the same center here, they had a salt cave where you just recline in a chair and you're in a cave made out of salt. It's kind of whirling around, and that's supposed to be very good for drying up, allergies and
Mhm.
sinus issues. And I did do that. And when I came out, it's like I had salt, in my throat and in my nose, on my skin, and yeah, it was really cool. I think these are times when um, exploring alternative medical technology, it's out there. It's just
Mhm.
not, when you see who's been in control of the money, it's big pharmaceutical companies. And um, I know 20 years ago, I remember doctors talking about there's no longer the concept of you come out of medical school and you open your own office. You join up to a huge corporation to be able to practice medicine, and you're
Mhm.
told how much you charge, and you're told, where you what you can practice. And so all of that, I think, is, sort of in some kind of slow implosion to where we will come back to, now already are starting to come back to, the small businessman, the person with their set of skills that sets out to, barter and do things that people need done on a much smaller, simpler scale. And
Mhm.
it's interesting. It's really interesting to watch cycles, and that's what astrology has, um, people do, is watching historic cycles for changes in society. Mundane astrology watches changes in countries. Um, there's been lots of change in leadership of countries over the last couple of years.
I'll say like this month. Like,
This month has been really, really big. And, do you think it's peculiar, all the people like leaving? There's a lot of people leaving the body. It just seems like, um, and there's been a lot of deaths of young people, and it's not just been like old age people.
mhm.
And so interesting, what we're going through, some kind of cleansing or purging. And maybe stay tiger, look up that movie, Altered States, before that'll give you a concept of a sensory deprivation tank. That movie was wild.
I'll have to look it up too.
It was wild. It was wild. He died not long ago too, William Hurt. So anyway, with I think we were kind of going over with the new moon holding hands with Saturn and Venus. You and Mercury has stationed direct. You may see issues with past love and your money return, like an issue, like say an ex owes you money. uh, Over the next few weeks, you would see either them trying to get that money, or you finally pay them that money, or whatever the exchange is. But that collection of planets there has to do with uh, completing things from the past with a
I was
person and
gonna
their
say
money.
the planets went direct. It's time to pay up.
Yeah, yes, it does work that way, interestingly enough.
Mhm.
And so the big thing that this is a little down the road, but one of the things I like to really drive home the point about astrology is, yes, it is technical. There's math, there are numbers that are specific, but it's also energy, and you can't lasso energy. You can't bottle it, and everybody's going to react differently to changes in the vibrations. And where we're heading is Pluto changing sign come March into Aquarius. It's been in Capricorn for a long time, and that will be a significant acceleration into these new technologies. And it's exciting. It's opportunity to, if you've been kind of the walking dead in your job and not really inspired by it, this might be a time when you apply some idea or concept that you've been wanting. Companies and people are more open to receiving new ideas, new ways of doing things. So with the retrograde motion of Pluto, it will go back into Capricorn towards the end of the year. So we'll only touch on Aquarius for a few months before we'll go back into Capricorn by the end of the year. And then once we're into 2024, it will be firmly into Aquarius and head through that. So what we're feeling, I feel like January and February are kind of these sort of hang 10 months, right? We all can sense changes in the air. We can all see subtle differences and nuances in our environments about things, whether it's uh, stores closing or new stores opening. Um, I saw the strangest thing today in an area that I don't normally visit, but I had this really old piece of art, like from like the 1870s. It was an oil painting, and I really like it. This lady was going to put it in a dumpster, and I was like, let someone look at this. This is very cool. And so I was over in that area of town to go to this art frame shop who has a lot of, they do restoration work and stuff like that. So what I noticed when I was there, you know how we've kind of been through this cycle economically of all these stores closing? Well, in a row, there were these three new stores, and you're going to love this because it was all about body care products. All three shops were individually owned shops that had body butter, uh, incense, aromatherapy, um, uh, care, just body care products,
Mhm.
lips, skin, hair, all three of them. And I thought that was so interesting because they were newly opened, right? So we must not be in that bad of a repression if people get up in my own neighborhood, a store open that does nothing but homemade soap. So do you see the trend, right? So you'll see more and more of this, people dropping out of that sort of punching the clock mindlessly to do something they're really not inspired by, to go open their soap shop or go open their gift shop. And I think that when you start noticing things like that in your own area, it's very uplifting because there's been this whole sort of dark cloud over everything is, you know, humdrum, and nothing will ever be the same, and we're all going to suffer, and just a real negative kind of connotation of what this uh, Pluto Saturn conjunction spurred. But what Pluto Saturn does is gets rid of that which is no longer needed. So we don't need chains that bind us. We don't need someone to tell us what we have to do. We are living, viable human beings with minds and intuition that can tap into our heart center and know what is it that you want to do. And with Aquarius, it's all about humanity. What makes humanity better? What makes you connected to your personal little neighborhood or community? And that's very exciting because it will bring a lot more creative types of energy to everybody's area, and some areas sooner than others. And it's cyclical. So there might be areas of the world that haven't seen all the crashing down of closings yet. There might be areas that they're already in the rebuild stage. I don't know if you saw the other day, Goldman Sachs investment house laying off a whole department. Um, so how money is circulated and handled is changing. So it's only as scary as you allow it to be. And I think we all have to help each other really feel uplifted, and like, the chains that bind, the debt slaves, right? We've been hooked into this system of um, being beholden to inanimate conglomerates. So, as they start to have their Pluto return, right, and crumble, what rebuilds? Smaller community banks, smaller people putting out their shingle to do their skill. And so, yeah, history repeats itself, and it's interesting. I think it's great. And with Venus, Saturn being conjunct by an Aquarian moon, you may, this is the kind of energy where, someone meets someone like totally different than anybody they've ever dated, right? Or big age difference, possibly. Or it could even be reconnecting with like an ex spouse. This is the kind of energy where people have been divorced a long time, start seeing each other again and give it another go. So, uh, just keep an open mind, keep an optimistic outlook, try not to cut yourself off from opportunities before giving them a chance. And a lot of times something doesn't look like it would be something you want, but we're in times where we need to, give things a chance and let them present themselves to us. Instead of us feeling like we have to be out in front of it and know all of the so progressed sun in Aquarius, Jen, means that your natal sun has progressed to the sign of Aquarius. So you would take on more Aquarian kinds of um, mannerisms. That's being eccentric. It's being interested in the metaphysical. It's being inventive, wanting to do something unconventional. Uh, and progress in life, not just not satisfied with the status quo. It might be disruptive in your life when you decide that a really great example is a friend of mine. They're in their 70s and she does all of the house like bill paying and computer work, and for some reason they live way out in the country, and for some reason her husband decides to change internet carrier, right? With being out in the country, there aren't a lot of options. So he has nothing to do with the computer, and he goes and changes it to another company and totally disrupts her computer system and the way she does things. That's a very Aquarian transit thing or progression thing. If you did their charts, you probably see, a lot of Aquarian progressed energy because, he had no idea what he was doing. He just wanted to do something new and totally disrupted her way of getting her stuff done on the computer. So, like when you buy new software, when you buy a new computer and you have to set it all up, that's that. It's when I say disruptive, it's not always bad. It just means a bump or a delay in the road to get you back in, updated to doing things in a more efficient way. Or, sometimes when you update your computer or software, you find elements of it you weren't using and don't need. So you get rid of them. Or I want to say that we're in this energy. It's like you're defragging your computer, right? You're cycling through all your little files in your mind and your life, and you're just cleaning out, purging those dormant things that you don't use, or that haven't served you. So we're in a defrag. How about that? How's that for high tech language?
Sounds good to me.
We're defragging.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is a great time to just be mindful of how you're made to feel when you're in different environments. If you feel sick when you're around people, places, or things, you have options. And this is the type of energy that opens up opportunities for you to get out there. And yes, she says it feels like a northern exposure type of life. Yeah, that's a great analogy, actually. Yeah, that's better than Walking Dead. Yeah. So, that's kind of a synopsis. If there's a more detailed article on lionmountainhealing.com. But those were the highlights that I wanted to share for the new moon. I think it is on Sunday, February 5th. We'll have the Leo full moon. So we're in this few weeks of the Leo Aquarius axis, which brings in the heart of the matter, right? So, the thing I've learned about Aquarians is, you have to love them for their quirkiness, because they're not intentionally being detached or hurtful or cold to anybody. This is just an energy that is deeply feeling. It's deeply knowing. It's deeply connected to the core of the universe and the vibration of energy. So sometimes that means needing to recluse some, or needing to rejuvenate on a vibrational level. So it's easy to take personally when an Aquarian might detach from you, but you just, you don't, because that's just the nature of the energy. That water bearer is pouring the water on the land as a healer. They're a metaphysician. They help to heal humanity. And so sometimes, like you've got a splinter that's not come out and it's festering, and so you have to have that little stick of pain before it just starts to heal. And life has a lot of those scenarios where sometimes there's an initial burn or hurt to get the splinter out before you can start to heal. The analogy of some traumatic thing from childhood that's festered and been buried, it has to come out. You have to cry it out, talk it out, write it out, do whatever you have to do to, get that fester out of your soul and begin to heal. And so these are definitely energies about healing in all kinds of natural ways, and seeing yourself as a vibrational or organic being connected to a large universe, and not, you're not in the fetal position, crying over losing a job or losing a loved one. I mean, there's a sort of a knowingness that we're all connected vibrationally, and the emotions we go through are the human experience. And just be mindful of, you know, of those emotions, so that you don't get too far one way or the other, or stay too down too long, or be delusional, right, and see things that are not there. I don't know. So it goes in all different spectrums and ways.
Sounds good. Sorry. I'm kind of like spaced out.
The pandemic has kind of felt like dark night of the soul. Yeah, it has. It's been it'll be very interesting to see the writings that come out from this last year, 2020, in history. It'll be interesting to see how history records this part of our society. But I do think your analogy of Dark Night of the Soul is uh, is very accurate. And also, um, Pluto destroys only to rebuild better. So all of this has had to happen for people to sort of get awake and alive, you know, not plugged into just some machine, mindlessly going through days and not having any real passion or creativity. Uh, so I think we're in for a rebirth of creative artists. And I so the first art shop didn't really feel good about repairing this painting. And I understood that it's got some problems with it, but I just wanted someone to look at it. And very spontaneously, which is very Uranian, I pull into a parking lot right here in my neighborhood, where there's been this guy who's refurbished art and done framing for a long, long time. I've maybe been in there twice. I always thought he was real expensive, is why I didn't go to him regularly, I guess. But I was like, you know what? He's been around a long time and he might have a different idea. So I took it into him, and he has some kind of machine that he can press it under and doesn't feel like it will chip the paint worse or whatever. And, he told me, he said, it could take me 6 months to get to this. I don't know if you know, want to deal with it. And I left it there. I was like, yeah, you know what? If you can restore this, I think it has value. It was a pretty well-known artist from back in the late 1880s. And so that's very indicative of Pluto destroying something to rebuild it. But it can take a long time. You know, it can destroy really quickly, right? So a piece of art can get destroyed by being in a flooded room. This thing has had water damage on the corner. So somewhere it was in water for some period. And but it's going to take a long process for it to come back and rebuild. And so if you take that analogy on our lives and on our beings, it just because something can be taken from you very quickly, it's usually not replaced all that quickly, right? And that is, I think, that interim of really getting clear on what it is you want. Saturn, Venus, what do you want out of your love? What do you want in your love life? Saturn, Venus would say you want something mature and responsible. Um, it's not a fling type of energy at all. Um, you may rebuff advances that maybe in the past you wouldn't have. So there's a sort of sense of maturity, like doing things differently. Uranus does things differently. And so, yeah, these would be questions. Saturn, Venus would be, what have you learned from your love relationships? What do you what have you learned that you want to apply to your next relationship? Are you patient, right? Are you patient to um, recognize it could take a while to find what you really want? And there's no right or wrong answers. I mean, hell, when I was young, you know, when you're young, it's great to go with different people. Give yourself experience and opportunity within reason, within healthy boundaries. But I think as you get older and like your friends and family die or move on, it seems like there's less time to waste. And that's where in chats like this, we're all different ages. There's every generation represented here. So I don't want to seem like an old cranky be mature about your love kind of lecture, because if you're young and you know
Well, I think, like, even the young people, like, like when you were young, okay, like dating at that age was different than the dating that is going on today.
that's true.
Because
The
yeah,
electronic
because
part.
back then, like you were saying, like you go into the newspapers, you want to see in the classifieds, like who's available. We
Yeah.
didn't have like social media apps or any kind of dating apps to kind of like peruse through at our fingertips. And now, like with the pandemic, it's just a couple of years was kind of like, um, kind of like affected the way how people were going
It
out,
really has. Yeah.
wearing masks and all kinds of stuff. But now that things are slowly, changing, so to speak, I don't know. It's just like my son's generation is definitely different than my generation, and I know that it's different for your generation.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard. It's like, kind of
Everybody's
like
very alone, it seems like. Everybody's experiencing that being alone to figure out what they want kind of vibe?
Hmm, yes and no. Like, I know some couples who are married and, they seem to kind of work out their differences, and it just seems that, there's still that energy of needing to heal the connection between the two of them and things like that. But also there is a big collective of people who are just choosing to be single because of, let's say, trauma wounding and the need to heal oneself before seeking a legitimate partnership with someone else. But then it's like, the number of prospects is very limited. It's like, how many other people who are actually working on themselves, with the same respect as someone who is actually healing themselves at the same token, and then there's like a divide, right? There are
I,
people who just don't give a shit, and
I
like,
heard I heard something that you're making me think of, and the analogy was about gardening, and that gardening is somewhat of a solo activity, and that there's all these wonderful gardeners by themselves in their yards who never meet because they like go to the greenhouse to get their supplies, and then they're back to their project or whatever.
mhm.
So I would like to think there are plenty of good people out there. It's just they're pulling weeds and doing work, and it's
Well,
some
I
kind
think
of
it's the harvest. What about the farmer's market?
yeah, or like
Hey, what booth
some
are
kind of
you at? Look, let me swing by and see what you got.
well, and here's the Leo in me. I'm hopelessly romantic. So I like to believe that two people come together by sheer fate. Like
Mhm.
you can each be on your solo journey and doing your thing and following your hobbies, and doesn't seem rational to think that you'll meet that person, but yet you do.
Mhm.
It's some sort of cosmic thread or vibration that two souls land at the same time, and it's profound. Now that's hopelessly romantic. I already prefaced that. That's my Leo heart, that's terribly romantic. But hey, that's what I'm made of, and that's what I'm sticking with. But I guess the idea is to not give up hope, and Saturn Venus is about getting clear on, what do you want from a relationship? Uh, you know, do you want to just have friends and companions and date, and you're not ready for a commitment, or are you wanting a commitment? So it's just about getting clear on, what is it you want from companionship.
Mhm.
And if you don't want something at this time, that's okay too. But that Saturn Venus is all about getting your structure about your love and what you want from love in order.
That sounds about right with what the energies are like these days. Oh, so she's getting her barbecue on. That's okay, honey. I hope it's tasty. So,
Well,
okay, so you want to do some cards?
that sounds great. And in the honor of an Aquarian new moon, have the Aquarian Tarot. Yay!
Yes. And then for today, I chose the Psychic Tarot, old school.
Where'd you go? I think you accidentally hit a button. It's a very Aquarian thing to happen. Y'all get to see my messy office.
Sorry, I pressed a button. That was my
That
fault.
happened to me earlier. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that must be the
You
Aquarian
show they
soul.
had to see my corner of shame, and all my stacked up boxes of crap I don't want to deal with.
Okay. So, first up, I think we're gonna start with Aries.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Jen.
Oh, I have heart chakra.
Oh, and I have the Four Cups
Hmm, interesting.
for Aries. So Jupiter's in Aries. Hmm. So that would say, look up, pay attention. The universe is trying to hand you a gift.
Yeah, I think Aries, you need to open up your heart, How do you feel? Also, if this is about third party situation and Aries is dealing with the third party, like it's time to be true to yourself. What is it that you want, right? So it's like cleaning out the clutter in regards to
Yeah.
love. Are you settling or are you wanting to go after the thing that you truly want and desire? I feel like they're thinking about it. They're not really happy right now. I feel that for Aries, like, I don't know. I feel like, there's a third party situation that you're not happy with, but at the same token, you have offers or opportunities. It may not be something that you want, but what you said earlier, Sonny, go ahead and try, right?
Yeah.
Try it out and see what happens.
There was always this saying around me growing up that, people would say, "Oh, you and so and so should go out," and it'd just be somebody like, "No, I'm not interested." But they would always say, older women would always say, "Well, you need to go out with them because you might meet their friend that you really are interested in." So it was always that. It's just like with a job too. It might not be the job that's perfect, but it could lead to the job that's very fulfilling. And sometimes, isn't that how energy works? It, like in an engine, it kind of ebbs and flows. So you might have to, um, gear down and take something or do something that you're not crazy about in order to get the momentum to go to the next gear. I don't know if that's making sense, but we all close ourselves off too much from society because what we perceive doesn't seem perfect enough or doesn't seem like a right fit. And getting out of the head and allowing the universe to be more organic, to present to itself, to us, opportunities, and just there's always been that metaphysical idea that if the universe extends an invitation to you, you should do whatever you can to accept it,
Hmm.
because it's not by accident.
Yeah, so Aries, there's like a new opportunity. You just got to look up and see what it is.
Yeah, look up.
Yeah. So next we have Taurus.
Taurus the bull.
Interesting. I have two cards, and it's sacrifice and transformation.
And I have justice.
Okay, these are like three major arcanas. Um, yeah, maybe balance in regards to letting go of a situation that requires change.
Might be the
Interesting.
ending of a legal matter.
Mm-hmm. Also, I really feel that you have to let go of something in order for this new energy to come through, and it's going to give you that balance that you're looking for. So if you're holding on to something of, I want to say, of the past, it's okay to let go and let this thing die off so that these new energies can come through. I feel like something better is coming for you.
It's definitely some sort of major cycle.
Especially with the sacrifice, um, it may not be something that you want to do, but it's for the better. It's really interesting. I see here, what is that, 11, 12, and 13. So it's definitely a progression.
Yeah. Pretty exciting stuff. Might be a little bit of a heartbreak involved, but who
It feels
knows?
like a really like difficult energy, but it's gonna pan out. It's like it's
Yeah.
the outcome is gonna be okay. And I feel like it's something major that's happening with Taurus at this time with the new moon.
Could be money related.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next we have Gemini.
I have Seven of Wands. So I always see this card as setting boundaries, um, allowing divine order to, oh, you got transformation again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the Death card. So um yeah, there's an opportunity for change if you let go of fighting. I don't know what you're fighting for, but
This is like fighting some sort of natural potential. Maybe there's something more unconventional or Aquarian or eccentric that's being repressed that is trying to make birth. It's trying to um, come up from within you. So I would say don't hold back, Gemini. You knew.
hmm yeah, I'm really focused here on the butterfly wings. That's
Yeah.
transformation. And I feel like a Gemini, you may be resisting change. Um, don't fight it, just go with the flow. So, whatever the resistance is, maybe you're a little bit in your head about this new opportunity to change, but maybe you're holding on to something that, I don't know, it's going to be different for everyone. But I really feel like if you just let go, everything is going to be okay. So, embrace the new energy, okay, Gemini?
Yeah.
Just,
It's another air. So all of that would be making a trine to Gemini placements, which is again very fortuitous.
mm-hmm.
So
So,
Cancer
mm-hmm.
might be feeling a little emotional.
Yeah, I would say. Are you making things hard on yourself? That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Which way do I go? What do I
Oh,
do?
I have Destiny. So I believe Destiny, isn't this the world? Um,
It looks like the egg shape or that round shape.
hmm Maybe it's time for Cancer to stop beating themselves up over something, like holding on to something. Change is inevitable, is what I'm getting, and there's more to really access instead of like holding a grudge. Or I see that with your card there, five of rods. There is like maybe a conversation that Cancer is having that was kind of destined for them to kind of learn from a situation. It's just better to like just let go or make peace with whoever that they're communicating with.
I also see this symbology as not being influenced by others. See this soul right in the middle, just being very centered, where everybody else is sort of looking around. And I feel that's a message for Cancer to, trust your own inner intuition and not be influenced by outsiders, not go with the
The
not go with the
crowd.
gang. Yeah, not go with like a group or something that might not have your best interest at heart.
Yeah, I can see that with this Destiny card. Do you see that it's one woman and she's multiplied? So
Yes,
basically, it's about herself. So what does she feel within herself and not with people that is around her?
right.
answers actually come from within. What do you feel that, is destined, that's
Right.
your highest and greatest good? So, yeah. Yeah, I feel like, there is some sort of change here, so embrace that change also.
Trust yourself, Cancer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So next we have Leo.
Leo would be opposite the new moon, so that could mean un changes out of oh, hold on. My dinosaur egg fell over.
I know. I was about, oh my God.
My chair hit it. This thing is heavy. You really can't see it all that well, but it's kind of cool.
I like it.
So two cards fell on the floor.
Okay,
Uh,
I got two
Queen
cards
of
too.
Pentacles and the Devil.
Oh, interesting. Hmm.
You
And
got
then
two cards too.
yeah, I have light and movement, choices and decisions, which that's two of Pentacles, I believe. So the light card is actually the Leo card, which is the sun. So maybe there's something that is being illuminated about what you need to do. Maybe you have some choices that you need to make and you're being guided. Um,
Well, I can tell you what it means for this Leo.
okay, what does it mean, honey?
So this to me is about money,
Uh-huh.
right? Remember we were talking about Saturn and Venus conjunct this moon being about, what have you learned about money, finances, love, those kinds of things. So lately I've had to be very responsible about money and not wasting money or being frivolous with money. Things like heating oil, things like gas in the car, just all those responsible things that are no fun to spend money on, but it's very responsible.
Mhm.
And I have to fight this devil, right? Because the devil wants to go and play and
You
waste money
don't
on
need
things
that.
I'm
Put
not.
some gas in that car and go out for a drive, honey.
The devil
Don't
wants to
stay
go to an
home.
auction and spend money on stuff you don't need. And the Queen of Pentacles is like, be structured. You've learned your lessons, pay your bills, put some money away, be patient, save for what you need.
So it looks like it's that restructuring also for yourself,
Yes.
to kind of decide, okay, you have to think about like, what you need to do in terms of money, about relationship, about like what you want to start on. What are some ideas that you have that you haven't worked on, or is it a good idea or not? So yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, that kind of sounds like what I'm going through. Seriously.
Yes, it's I guess when I was trying to explain, I had a $40 uh, credit for a store, right?
Mhm.
And I wanted to do something frivolous with it because it was kind of like given to me. So I was like, but I ultimately did something very responsible with it. So that's learning structure about finances.
Yeah, same thing. I just got my Costco check in, right? and and it's that time for the membership, and I'm like, oh, do I get a free membership?
Right,
But I could get X, Y, and Z.
right, right.
But yeah, I get it.
It's making those decisions that are maybe not as fun, but in the long run, make our foundation better.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, over the holidays, I finally broke down and bought a new mattress, which I have needed for many, many years, but I've just put it off because it's no fun to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you how grateful I am that I did that because I sleep so much better.
Oh
I
yeah.
used to have these really bad bags. I don't have, I mean, I do have bags under my eyes. They're not as bad. I'm
Oh
attributing it to my mattress. I'm sleeping better.
well, you did give me that what's it, satin pillow
Yeah,
thing? Wait,
yeah.
don't
The
you?
eye, yeah.
Yeah, like do you have one of those for
I
yourself?
don't. I bought it for you. I didn't buy myself one.
Oh, like what the heck? I gotta get you
Mine
that.
are beyond. Mine are probably
Oh, beyond
beyond.
repair.
Yeah,
Is it time for preparation H?
yeah. It's time for sliced cucumbers.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
I
We
know.
can laugh though, right? We can laugh. That's important.
No, I mean I get it. I'm starting to feel the bags under my eyes.
You don't have any bags.
Oh yeah, don't you see it by the shadow right here? You see that little bag? I'm getting
Oh,
old.
that's just a little teeny weeny little nothing.
Sack,
Yeah.
like a
These are,
crease, like
this
just a
is,
little line under the eye.
I had an allergy doctor tell me it was allergy related, but nothing I do seems to make a difference. But the sleeping better seems to help a lot.
Interesting. Okay, well,
So if you're sleeping on a bad mattress, go do something about that. And
now let me ask you this: did you get a foam mattress or did you get a spring mattress?
I got the mattress and box spring set. So I got a mattress that sits on top of the box springs.
I mean, like, is this box spring like a spring, like, or
Mhm.
is it like a box?
It is a spring.
Oh, okay. Next
Sealy.
time, Celia, next time, get you a foam mattress if you
I
can.
tried one of those toppers on the old one, but I like a really firm mattress. I
Oh
like,
yeah, they can make them firm.
yeah, I
Mhm.
can sleep on the floor actually. But I'm very pleased with it. I went into the store and like spent 20 minutes on several different models to
I know.
see.
I did
Yeah.
too.
And I just really, I'm so happy with it. And
That's good.
I wished I hadn't put it off so long, but I did.
No, but you
Just not
have it
fun.
now.
Just not a fun thing to go spend money on, you know.
I get it. Okay. So next we have Virgo and I have Temptation.
Oh, well, maybe temptation with someone karmically.
Oh, someone from the past. Like, but I see that, Virgo, you might be saying no. Like you're like, no, no. But you're kind of in two minds about it because I see that, you're looking forward, but you're kind of looking back. But yeah, this could be a soulmate. Soulmate could be karmic as well. But someone of your past that you really are considering. But I feel like there's some sort of change here or an opportunity for you to meet up with this past person. And that's what I'm saying.
This is also could be someone from childhood,
Mhm.
very playful energy. I like that card. I've also always associated this card with the inner child, like it's our own inner uh, feminine and masculine, having balance and harmony. Because a lot of times what we're manifesting is because one or the other part of us is out of balance.
Mhm. Yeah, it could be also maybe just pushing away the things that they need to work on in their past, like healing,
I felt
personal.
pretty masculine today. I drove a big old honking pickup truck and
Oh, how was that?
I was way up on top of the road, I was like, man, I'm feeling manly man. I'm like,
Can you see
I'm tapping
everything?
into my masculine energy today. I drove a pickup truck and hauled some junk.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ah! That's
Well, that's
exactly
always
what I was thinking. I was like, feeling pretty masculine here in this truck moving. A friend of mine's moving and had some stuff she wanted to get rid of. So, yeah, I moved stuff and drove a big old truck.
yeah.
It felt
Um,
strange.
well, it's always nice to do something different, right? Kind of like that Aquarian
Yes.
energy.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then by the end of the mission, I was like, I think I could drive that truck some. It's my neighbor's truck that never gets driven. So when I gave him the keys back, I said, anytime you want me to take it for a whirl, I'll take it for. I was first kind of scared to drive it because it's big. But
Mhm.
yeah, by the time I had done it a little while, it was actually kind of fun.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It has antique on the. It has license plates that call it an antique. It's like an old big truck.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but he's taken great care of it, and I really enjoyed it. So I helped someone get rid of some stuff, and I don't know, like you said, did something different.
Mhm. Mhm.
Are we on
Okay.
Libra?
Libra. Mhm.
So we have Page of Swords, some
Actually, that's
socializing.
page of rods. That's wands.
Oh yeah, yeah. What do you have there?
Suffering in silence, and this I believe is nine of swords. So kind of like in their head, thinking about maybe the past, maybe the future. I would say just sit in the present moment, not really worry about what's going on. Because Libra is another air sign, also.
This could have something to do with
Hmm.
taking children to social activities or being involved with I don't know why this came to my head, but being a professional clown and clowning out at kids' parties.
I
Yeah,
can see that. Um,
something kind of crazy.
so maybe like as Libra, you're thinking about maybe children or someone young. Maybe it kind of hurts you. I don't know. I'm getting very like sentimental type vibes coming from. Do you see like in your card, there's no face on that page?
Yeah.
Kind of like emotionless. And here, Libra, you have your back turned. It's like you don't want to show people your true colors, your true face. Um, I have a feeling like you're thinking a lot about something, you know.
Or two, Libra's very artistic. So I
Hmm.
kind of take this too as being shy about sharing an artistic creation with others, like keeping an artistic ability secret, or
Yeah, kind of like it's like a good idea. Like they thought it was like, kind of something fun or
yeah,
playful. But I feel like the people that was around Libra around this time, they might shoot their idea down and that
yeah,
might make them feel bad.
insecure. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Aw, I'm sorry, Libra. Like,
Go put your art out there. It's subjective what
yeah,
anybody
who
thinks
cares
anyway.
what they say? So next we have Scorpio. Oh, I have Passion Ignites.
And celebration.
Oh, interesting. So this is Ace of Wands.
And four rods. So
So maybe something sparks this thing of going out to a party or some kind of celebration for some.
maybe something's come through with buying a piece of property, um, farming, or some kind of harvest, investment in a winery, some kind of celebration at some kind of venue.
Yeah, or
Some,
it could be about like the house, like feeling motivated to work on like maybe the house, like I don't know, beautifying it. So
yeah.
um I'm also getting, I see here like it looks like there's a person in that flame. So if you're watching this as a twin flame, uh maybe you're feeling whole on your own and you're feeling inspired to be in union with your twin at this time. Everything's coming full circle and it's you're feeling more stable these days. So that's actually a good thing.
And um, definitely something to celebrate, some kind of structure and stability for Scorpio to celebrate.
It actually feels good.
It
That's
does.
kind of surprising, for Scorpio. So next we have Sag.
I'm sorry, not actually my name. I know nothing about how those notifications work.
This isn't even my.
Has been an interesting day
Yeah,
cosmically.
I mean, I think things are going forward. So I mean, it's taken a little bit elbow grease for things to kind of get it going in the right direction.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
WD 40, like
Patience.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, the other day, I took my son out to our little gym over here, and the walking machine was squeaking,
Oh,
and I'm like, man, this thing needs some WD 40. It's going cheep cheep cheep,
good,
like wow. It was squeaking the whole time, but I did it. I did 20 minutes on that. I don't know
good
what you
for
call it.
you.
It's like a Norditrack type machine.
Yeah, like a
Uh,
treadmill.
so yeah, it's like a treadmill, but it's like I don't know, it cycles or something. Um, hold on. Okay. All right, so Sag.
Yes.
Okay, we have accelerated motion. This is 8 of Wands.
Nine of rods.
Okay, wand energy. So there could be communication or some movement forward um, about maybe something that you've been thinking about. And look, that star reminds me of the Aquarius
Yeah.
energy. So something that you're planning or thinking of is actually moving forward.
Or having survived the battle and ready for a new turn of the cycle. This card, Nine of Rods, reminds me of the survivor, the soldier that has persevered a lot of adversity and at a completion of some sort, and that your card is like looking towards the bright new future, maybe the end of a bad divorce.
Yeah, so yeah, because this is the 8 to the 9. So 8 progressing to the 9, movement
Yeah,
forward to something that's been difficult. So you're almost there, Sag. You'll be all right. Maybe by the Leo full moon, then things start
yeah.
shifting. Like, yeah. So next we have Capricorn. Oh wow. So the Destiny card came out.
And I got the Ten of Rods.
Okay, so maybe it's time to let go of the burden. If it's just too much, it's I don't know. Put it to rest.
This is like getting it all together and getting the final push over the finish line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's your destiny to start on something new, but you have to kind of wrap things up and kind of look at what's in front of you. Because I see that you're just all blocked up with all those rods in your face. Yeah, you're not seeing where you're going. I just feel like, for Capricorn, you need to let go so that you can see what's coming towards you.
Maybe take a little rest. This looks like a lot of hard work too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed because I'm a Capricorn, right? I've
Yes.
I've noticed that sometimes when because I'm always busy working, it's okay to take a break, because if you're like constantly like grinding all the time, you kind of lose focus of what you're
Well, and
really.
you've had a lot of extra company to deal with too. I mean, it's been nice, I'm sure, but it's still a lot to do extra on top of what you normally
Oh,
do.
I'm still doing it remotely.
Oh,
Well, get this, okay? So my mom and my daddy, they're in their 70s, and believe it or not, they're into technology. They have an iWatch, they have like iPods, they have the iPhone, they have the tablet, they have everything. And so they're now understanding how to use Wi-Fi in different locations, and um because now they're traveling. So I have to kind of like teach them how to search for Wi-Fi networks while they're on the go and things like that. And also, like, how like you can store your card on the watch and also on the phone. So
yeah.
I know in Korea when you ride the bus, you can swipe um your wrist and go doot, and like it automatically charges your card, like so that you don't have to pull out, like whatever, just so that you can pay for your bus fare or something. So I got them primed up for that. So yeah, I'm still doing it remote. As a matter of fact, they had made a booking to they made a reservation with like an Airbnb situation. So after I'm done with this live, I have to check in with their reservation to our next destination. So
Cool.
yeah, it's cool for them, but like like doing remote tech support is
Yeah.
frustrating,
Yeah.
especially.
Especially with the time difference.
Oh, no, not that. Is the older they are, they're like, "I don't understand. Where can I can't find that app. Like, what app do what do I need to download? How do I download?" Stuff like that. And then I'm like, "Okay, it's frustrating." Anyways, let's move on.
You're a good daughter. Good daughter.
Yeah, okay. I'm just doing my job. Aquarius,
Aquarius for the Aquarius new moon
yes. I have 2 cards here. Wow. I have this sacral chakra and suffering in silence.
and the Hanged Man.
Interesting. So, whatever you're passionate about, why are you suffering? I feel like Aquarius, are you in your head about something that you desire? Hmm. There's stress around something that you want, and maybe you're hanging out to find out. So, I really feel like Aquarius, you're overthinking something here.
Well, and this is again that sort of the time between gear shifts, like hanging out, being reflective, ready to move forward, but still hanging back a little bit.
So, kind of like the in and out energy, like because this is a 9 and you definitely need to progress to the 10. So you're not there yet, but you're kind of keeping this in yourself, and that's not how you handle stress. You have to let it go. Um and that's what I'm seeing here. And it's something that you really
And
enjoy.
another thing Aquarians might enjoy under their new moon is just some sort of sabbatical, some sort of spiritual trip to, an ashram or something in their local area that they could visit that's uh, has spiritual roots to it. Because this hangman is all about bucking up your faith. What do you believe in?
Yeah, but also looking at things differently than how they're perceiving things are. So,
I
yeah,
like
get out of that funk and turn your
Yeah.
vibe and
Get your freak on. That's what Aquarius does.
yeah, especially with
And
the
that's
sake.
what Aquarius teaches the rest of us to do, get unstuck and try things a different way.
I was thinking nasty. I was like,
It's
awkward.
okay.
Y'all need that vibrator.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Why are you suffering in
There's
silence?
Shimona. She usually chimes in with this
Well, she's at the
subject.
hockey game, so
Yeah.
she's ramped up with the sweat at the ice rink. So
Blood, sweat,
finally,
and tears, right?
yeah, we have Pisces. Oh, interesting. Oh, I have passion ignites.
Oh, and I have the chariot.
Oh, so it's time to get your freak on.
Proven. Yeah.
Uh, but with your chariot card there, that dude doesn't look happy. Doesn't it look like he's confronting someone, or what is that down there? It's like an optical illusion almost.
Kind of looks like he's in some kind of zone, some kind of like just walking through the motions, not really feeling anything,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing the point. There's no point on the sword.
Yeah, but look at her face. She's like, yes, passion. Like they're open for that. So, interesting. So I guess it's just time to move towards something that you really want to do. Don't hold back. Go with the flow. And I think you're good at doing that, Pisces.
Yeah. Yeah. And chariot is also balance. Some of those cards have the black and white horse that indicate balance.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's having to be responsible and uh, think about balance as opposed to fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that concludes all the signs here for today.
Yeah. That's good. We're doing great. It's only getting better from here for the year. 2023 is a big transition year for even bigger and better things coming.
Yeah,
We've been through the worst.
you had mentioned even with my solar return that my transition is going to be a year and a half. So to
Yeah.
speak, right?
Well, transitions within, I mean, not until a year and a half, but ongoingly for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're
And
welcome, honey. Sorry.
yes, we appreciate your time and energy here. And I think that it's just a really fun type of energy that gives everybody a chance to stretch out and fly their little wings doing different things and um, more humanitarian projects will become available, more opportunities to volunteer and get involved with things that are very meaningful to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rescue something.
Yeah. I would rescue an animal, but that costs money.
You have an animal.
Yeah, she's in here. She's all tuckered out. I gave her her meds because she's born on the 21st.
Yeah,
So I give it to her on the 21st of each month. So
yeah.
every time when she takes it, she's like out.
Sleeps.
Hmm. So that must be
Yes.
strong. She looked like she is not awake. Like Luna, Luna. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure you're alive.
I was going to say, I've gotten really skeptical about some of the chemicals they tell us to put in our little dogs.
Did you know that that Heart Guard has ivermectin in it?
Yes.
I didn't know that. And I was like, wow, you're eating this?
And it also protects against other kinds of worms besides heartworms. Look
Uh,
at Luna.
Hi, honey. I'm sorry I woke you up. She was like, what the heck?
Yeah, she's like, where are you going taking me?
Uh,
Oh, baby is sleepy. Hey,
mhm.
Luna. Luna.
Hi.
Where's your dinosaur? Where's the
Oh,
dinosaur?
no, don't even. She loves that
Sleepy
little
girl.
T-Rex thing.
Sleepy girl. You sure
Mm-hmm.
are cute. Yeah, wake up. Time to rock. Rock and roll, Luna.
Say hello. She's like, where's Mojo? Where's
Yeah,
Leon?
yeah. Mine
Yeah,
are wild. They're just wild. If I tried to go get them and bring them up here right now to be
they would
on
tear
here,
it.
it,
Yeah.
it something would break, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. No, I just woke her up. She was sleeping. Um,
Does
I
she have a
know.
little, let's see. Oh, it's
What?
your hand. I was thinking she had a little pink collar on. It's your hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
she loves her mommy.
Mhm. No, whenever there's a like a male that comes around, she is like she'll push me over just to get to that
Oh,
guy. Yeah, it's like she knows the difference between a woman and a man. So she likes her male
are you
friend.
winning, Chewbacca? Is your team winning? Not over here. Not over here. I hope your team is winning.
How was the live? It went well. We're now like taking a little break. Yes, honey.
Does
Okay, Luna.
anybody have any questions or insights about their Aquarian new moon the next few days? What is going on with hypnotized sessions? I don't.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was me. Um, I'm working on it, honey. I am still training and I haven't been active lately. I start next week and the reason why is because my family just left. So I haven't had any
They've been
time.
there, what, like 6 weeks?
Yeah, they were here for about a month and I don't know if the collective realized that, the reasons why I was kind of like not on time and like, some of the videos would come out kind of weird. It's because I had family over here. Let me tell you this little bit, this little blooper. Do you see that door back there?
Yes.
I was doing a reading, right? My mama was crawling on the floor military style and I saw a hand reach up to open the door so she could get in and I'm like, "What the heck?"
That is so funny.
I had to cut it out of the video. And I yelled at my mother. I was like, do you understand? Like, I have to edit this video now because I saw your hand reach out of nowhere and open the door.
That is so funny.
It didn't happen once, it happened a few times. And so there was a few times where I had to do some extra video editing and it was kind of janky, how I kind of blotched it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just stuff like that. And then it was like, they're kind of like outside of this other door over here. I can hear them through the freaking door. And I couldn't record video. I'm pretty sure people could hear like voices and stuff, but yeah, it wasn't like the best. So now it's quiet. Um, and I got my space back.
So no more lies is an Aquarius sun and Venus. What should I expect with this new supermoon? I would expect a lot of poppin', fun activity and unexpected money and love and a little taste of structure with Saturn conjunct Venus. So yeah, it's your time. Yeah, Aquarians, would resonate very strongly to this new moon.
Mhm.
You're in your element. You're the metaphysician. You might buy a new tarot deck,
Mhm.
pick up a metaphysical book, visit a new age bookstore, buy some crystals, something quirky. I had suggested we have a pajama party tonight, but neither one of us wanted to show up in our pajamas. But that would
Honey,
be quirky.
y'all
I
don't
was
wanna
trying to think of
see
something different.
y'all don't wanna see more than this, do y'all? Like, my pajamas don't,
I
no.
was trying to think of something that would be, like if we could have,
I would have to like, really purchase something to, make sure it's all covered up and stuff for something like that.
well, or like a Merlin costume or costumes from
I can wear my wig.
what am I? Harry Potter. Hey, did y'all hear about that guy in Canada that was what was his deal? He was changing all the Harry Potter books to change the name of the author because he had a bone to pick with the author.
I didn't hear about that.
Where did I hear that? And I think you can buy them on eBay or something where you can buy a Harry Potter book, but he's changed the name of the author.
I don't know.
Going to a concert, that'll be fun.
Oh, so yeah, happy birthday, No More Lies. Is it in January or February? You sent me a new pic. Oh, is it through email or is it through Instagram?
Now she's waking up.
I know. I kind of woke her up too early. I'm sorry. And then she wants to eat my hair. Stop it, honey. Stop, not the hair. Now she's getting active. IG. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let me see what's going on in IG land. Mm-mm-mm.
Luna, what is Luna doing?
Luna's
Luna, I got a secret. Luna,
is
she's
she?
into something there.
Oh, well, she's looking at the screen. That's why.
Luna, what are you doing? Where's your dinosaur? Huh? Where's your
Not that.
dinosaur?
That's her slobber toy.
It's just the right size.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, sorry, but not sorry unless we lose. There she is at the hockey
Oh,
game.
hi there. Very cool.
Let's see
See
here.
how we're all connected over all these miles.
Oh,
Amazing.
who is this? Shabaka. He sent a new pic. Oh, what is that ring that he's wearing?
Pretty.
Oh, I can't zoom in. Like, the man won 4 or 5 Stanley Cups in Montreal. Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So he's like old school. Well, you enjoy your game. You're up in the bleachers. You're not up there close to the rink. This is Yvonne Lambert. Absolute legend here. Awesome.
Well, so you're having a very starlit night.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've been to a hockey game, actually. The only
It's been
reason I would
years.
go
We
is
used
because
to have a
of
team here, but I don't think we do anymore. Pretty sure we don't.
mhm.
That's a hard hitting game for sure.
Oh my god, somebody favorited my shop on Etsy and she has a pug.
Aw.
That's so funny. Luna, why are you looking at me like that? She's like, whatever. That's her tushy.
Right in your face.
I know, she does that. When we sleep together, she puts her ass on my face. Isn't
Oh,
that right? Yes. She's like, "Oh."
and she's not spoiled at all.
I know.
Cutie
She
pie.
is.
You know,
I
cutie
love it.
pie. Oh,
Mhm. She's like, what's going on? I'm an alien. Aren't you an alien? From
what?
Men
How old is she now?
She's 6 months.
Oh,
My
aren't you
pink.
glad you got her?
Oh my god, yeah. I love her so much.
Oh,
She gives me this
unconditional
book.
love.
hmm I'm so glad, because I was gonna get one last year, but I didn't I don't know, for whatever reason I didn't connect to the other one. And so you know what? When I came back home from Arizona, that's when she was born. The last summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was being born while I was coming back
So
home.
the stars aligned and everything worked out
Yeah,
fine.
it did. And I had no idea, because then they called me and they were like, "Well, I'm next in line, to make
Oh,
the pick." And I was like, I guess it's a sign."
yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
she is so out of it. I can feel her body. Like that medicine must be really,
It
really.
shouldn't make her feel bad.
It's not bad. It's just so droopy. Look, she's like, womp womp. So I upped her dosage because she's like 11 pounds. So it's like up to 10 pounds for the heart guard. And then the next range is between 10 to 25. So yeah, I think it might be strong for
I
her.
think you giving her one for the 10 pounds is fine.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can see I hate it when you give them meds and they just,
Yeah.
like the side effects.
Right.
I'm sorry, honey. Anyway, my baby. Your dad has a 7 month old Great Dane, and the stepmom is a wee bit angry. I got her to show me her belly 3 times tonight.
I think they're the coolest dogs.
mm-hmm. They're kind of big, aren't they?
Huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think a friend of mine, she had a Great Dane, and that thing like took up the whole couch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you guys have any questions for Sunny? And if you guys want to book a reading, go ahead and navigate to her website. So you can put up here, linemountainhealing.com. And she also has an Etsy shop if you want to go ahead and take a look at her relics, her antiques.
Yeah. It's an ongoing process.
Dang, girl. Are you okay? I'm not worried. Honey.
Is her what are her gums nice and pink or are they gray?
I don't know. Here, open wide. Let's show Sunny your. What does it look like?
Oh,
I'm
she's
sorry.
fighting you, so that's a good sign.
Oh, I'm
Is
sorry.
that
Oh,
her?
yeah. I was kind of like blocking her trachea. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Aw.
That
She's
medicine is
you.
strong.
Yeah, she's usually not this droopy. I'm sorry. You need to drink some water. Water? Does that sound like a plan? It's like I can feel her, and I don't like that feeling.
Well,
No.
she is alert. She just
Mhm.
a little, maybe she's just sleepy. I would just keep an eye on her. Maybe she just needs to sleep, have a good sleep.
I'm pretty sure it's just it's strong for her.
Yeah, I would just stick with one.
What, the 10 up to 10 pounds?
She's only 11 pounds. Yeah.
Well, I think she's gained a little bit more. I think she's 12 now. But yeah. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
feed her
because it's
some.
not like she's out around other dogs or gonna
Mm.
be picking up anything.
Oh,
So,
well, yeah. There's a little Chihuahua that comes around, my cousin's dog. He came to visit, and
oh,
it is so funny. The little Chihuahua, his name is Ben, and Luna would attack. Yes, you know what I'm talking about, Ben. Luna would attack him, and that little thing was so afraid of Luna. And she would mount him. She was like, like I was like, "Dang, girl, get off
thank
him."
you, Jen. It's actually a new moon. The full moon is 2 weeks on February 5th in Leo. So,
Oh, not actually. You emailed me a picture of your Great Dane. Okay, let's take a look. This is not actually my name's doggy. Dang, girl, are you okay? Man, he was like droopy. She's never really this limp. Um, I know, I know. Let me see. I'm trying. Wow, that thing's huge. Look at this.
oh, how cool. What a beauty.
Uh-huh,
This,
that thing's
he's a
huge.
beauty. Aw, you can almost put a saddle on him.
I know, right? I could ride it. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, that's a cute little picture. Look at this close-up shot.
I love it. He's handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are in some great times. Whitewater rafting. Head for the
Oh,
calm water.
I want to go white water rafting.
Rafting.
When is DM coming, and do I have to be consistently ready at all times? I get a flash of doubt. No, you just open to energy, let it come and go. Well, you're a cute little thing, girl.
Aw. Well, look, I guess it's time for me to go let my little bugaroos out and keep me posted on little Luna here. Hopefully, she'll just have a good night's sleep and be back to herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was like that when she was a puppy, where it was just too strong. I'm
Right.
thinking maybe this is too strong, but she'll get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. So I guess I'll let you guys go. So thank you all.
Thank everybody. I really appreciate everything and enjoy your next quirky few days with an Aquarius new moon and all the planets getting direct. Things will be moving forward a little quicker. And we'll meet again in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Okay, yeah. I think
All
I need to
right.
give
See you
Luna.
later, Luna.
Say
See you
bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
All right, bye. Good night.
If it'll let me leave.
All right, bye guys.